All right, so today in our Zoom meeting, we talked about a few things. We talked about how to turn off email notifications from Google Classroom. We talked about how to use your Google Calendar so that you don't have to check emails constantly. I also showed people where to get the video directions for the assignment, and we talked about what pro and con, what I mean by pro and con in the assignment. So I'm going to go over that stuff here very quickly with you. So one of the things that if you are getting too many emails and you just need to get fewer, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're in Google Classroom, just like my screen here shows. And over here on the left, top left, you see these three lines. You click on that. And then you scroll all the way to the bottom to Settings. Click on Settings. And you have a lot of different options here. Now, I have more options than you do because I have a teacher account. So you're not going to see everything that on yours that you see on mine, but you will see some things that are the same. One of the things you'll see here is notifications, email. If you turn that off, it's going to turn off all email notifications. You will not get any emails from Google Classroom at all. Now, maybe that is what you want, but maybe that's not what you want. Maybe you just want fewer. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go down where you see classes you're enrolled in, and you're going to see options here. So you can turn on or off getting emails about work and posts from teachers. So if you don't want to get an email every time a teacher posts something in Google Classroom, you can turn that off. You can turn off getting notifications for returned work and grades. You can turn off invitations to join classes, and you can turn off due date reminders. So if you just want to get one of those or a couple of those, you can turn off the things you don't want to get. You won't have the classes that you teach, but down here, email notification, let's see here if I can get to it. You can click here and it is going to bring up all of your classes. Now, I have a lot of classes, but let's just say I have just these: first, second, third period, fourth period, and sixth period. If I only want to get emails from my first period, from my first period teacher, I can turn off all these other ones and only get emails from first period. Or maybe I only have one class that is just overwhelming me. My first period teacher just posts so much stuff, and I just can't handle that one. I can turn off just first period. So you have those options, okay? If you are going to turn off your emails, be sure that you are getting into Google Classroom a lot and checking your classes, because teachers are posting things not to annoy you, but because it's information you might actually need. So be checking Google Classroom. I suggest you get up every day and just log in and get into your Google Classrooms and just check them. See what they say. Okay. Now, if you are wanting to see what do I have due in Google Classroom, let's go back here. And so I'm in my Google Classroom and I just want to see what I have due. I don't want in all my classes. So I'm not going to click on view all. Instead, I'm going to go back up here to these three lines in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go to my calendar. Now this is going to show me just what's due. So last Monday on the 27th, here are the assignments that were due. My College Board videos, my attendance question, the locked out, how thoughtless dress codes can harm students. So those were all due last Monday. Here's what's due on Friday. My weekly reading activity assignment for my English class. I go to next week by clicking on this arrow up here on the date, and now you can see the date range has changed, May 3rd through May 9th. And now I can see next Monday I have these assignments due. Okay. Now that's great for just seeing what's on my calendar from Google Classroom. But I really encourage you to use your Google Calendar more thoroughly than that. So if you open up a web page, just open up any Google web page up here in the upper right-hand corner where it says Gmail, images, and then there's this waffle. If you click on that waffle, it's going to give you the apps that Gmail shows as being the most used apps. So one of those apps is the Google Calendar. So if you click on Calendar, now my calendar is going to be much more overwhelming than your calendar. I have a lot of stuff in here, so don't panic. Yours will not look like this. So the first thing I want to show you when I pull up my calendar is that I have it set to see the whole week. You can change that. If you just want to see just today, only today, you can click on day and it'll change your view so that it shows you just today. Now mine's going to show, I am part of a lot of different calendars. So this is my calendar. This is my husband's calendar. I have a lot of different calendars. So you don't need to do that. You won't have that. You'll just have yours. Also, my husband likes the month view. I don't, and I'll tell you why. This is great for being able to just see everything that you have for the whole month. But here's what I don't like. I have so much on my calendar that look at Friday the 10th. It only shows the first 2 things, and then it says 23 more. So to see this 23 more, or this 11 more, or the 16 more, I have to click and go into each one of those, and it changes it to then the day view. So instead, if I just have it set to week, I can see everything that's in Google Classroom for Monday. Here's all of Monday's work from Google Classroom. Here's Friday's work from Google Classroom. But what I like about this is, let's say I'm working on a project with one of my friends in science class, and on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we're going to work on a science project together. So I go over here, I'm on Wednesday, 3 o'clock, I scroll over, I click in the blank spot there, just under the 3 o'clock line, and it brings up an event that I can make for myself. So I'm going to say science project. And then see here, I can add guests. I'm working on this with Mr. Levesque. So I'm going to type in Mr. Levesque's name, and it pops it up here for me. I click on it. Okay, now he's on this. Now he's on my calendar event too. And we are going to conference. We're going to conference on this. We're going to do this online through video conferencing, working together. So I'm going to click on this add conferencing. And then I can either do it through Google Meet or Zoom. Now, since I'm used to Zoom, I'm going to go ahead and just make it a Zoom meeting. I click on Zoom. And then see, it says join Zoom meeting. And so when it comes time to do that, I can just go in. So I'm going to click save, and it's going to say, do you want to send an email to your guest to remind them that they are part of this? And if you do, you click send. So I'm going to click send. Poor Mr. Levesque. I've been doing this all day long, showing examples. He's probably got 6 million of these. So now, when it gets close to 3 o'clock, 10 minutes before 3 o'clock, a message is going to come up on my Chromebook that says, you are supposed to be working on a science project in 10 minutes. And I'm going to click on that science project, and I'm going to click join Zoom meeting, and it's just going to start my Zoom meeting with Mr. Levesque. And then when he goes in, he'll click on it, and then we can talk about things. We can work on things together. So I strongly encourage you to start using Calendar. You're going to have a lot more teachers throughout the years using Google Classroom, using Google Calendar. It's going to be a good thing for you to just get used to. So the other thing I want to show you, here, let's go back to my Google Classroom stream. If you scroll down, you're going to see here's the message for what you're supposed to do this week, right? And there's the attendance question, there's the reading log activity, and then here is a video on reviewing argument. So I gave you the slides. I also made a video going over those slides for you again. So if you don't remember what the difference between a logical appeal and an emotional appeal is, if you don't remember the types of fallacies you need to avoid when writing an argument, you should watch this video. Okay, and I scroll down here, and then you see there's 2 assignments, the pre-write assignment and the paragraph assignment for argument. Also in those assignments, not only do you have the assignment, but here's a video that explains the assignment. Here's the assignment, and here's that review video and the review and the argument slides again. So if you get working on the assignment and you're like, oh my gosh, what's a logical appeal again? You can go just to the slides. You can watch the video again. So you do have explanations here in video form to help you out. Really quick, let me go over what I mean by pros and cons. You have school dress code, homework, homeschooling, online education, texting while driving, driving age, vaping, social media and mental health, violent video games, and violent behavior as your options for an argument. If you want to do something other than those, you need to get permission from your teacher in order to do that. I've already had several students ask me if they can do other things, and I have said yes on those. But you do need to clear it with me, because if it is an issue that is polarized, which means the majority of people have extreme sides, they are on one extreme side or the other extreme side, or it's an overdone issue. It's an issue that's been overdone, I'm going to say no. Once you've decided on your issue, and if you're doing school dress code or school uniforms, you can use all those articles from Actively Learn to help you. It'll make your life way easier, but you don't have to. If you are going to do one of these others, though, you're going to have to do some research. So here you're going to write what you're going to argue, and then pros and cons. Pro is your side. So if you're doing texting while driving, it's not necessarily that the pro is texting while driving. If you're against texting while driving, then the pro is against texting and driving. The pro is why you should not text and drive. Okay? Make sure that any information that you're writing down here, you tell me where you got that information, the title, the author, and where you got it. Is it a website? What website is it? Is it from Actively Learn? Is it an article from Actively Learn? That's where you're writing what type of source you're getting. For your pros, you should have at least 2 sources. For your cons, you only need 1 source. Okay? And then you go over here to argument, and to write your paragraph. The outline is optional, but you do not need to have a claim. Your claim needs to clearly identify the issue, the side that you are taking. You need to support that claim with evidence that is a logical appeal. Then you need to have reasoning that explains that evidence. Then your counter argument is what the other side would say, and the rebuttal is why they're wrong. And then your conclusion. Okay? Don't forget that your rebuttal can have an emotional appeal, but it cannot have a fallacy. Okay? So you don't have to do the outline. I highly recommend it, but you don't have to. But you do have to have all of those pieces down here when you write your paragraph. So if you have any questions, be sure to send me an email, and I will do my best to answer them. And good luck.